All right, well, welcome. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the first day of Speedgaming Live 2024. We've got one of the first restreams going on for Link to the Past Randomizer. What a treat do we have today? Telethar versus ph. Might be pausing for a sec. All right, well, anyway, these guys, very well-known members of the community, super privileged and honored to have these guys here playing for us on stage live for SGL. And, you know, thank you, Herfy, and other admins for making this matchup possible, because I'm sure maybe they were cursing it a bit to see if the competition could be a little bit lighter getting out of groups. But, you know, we have the viewers are blessed, you know, with this matchup. Ari, how's it going? Welcome to SGL. Welcome from Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm super happy to be here. Super happy to be casting, you know, these incredible matchups. The groups have been super stacked this year, so thank you so much to the admins for re-rolling the groups often enough to get matchups like this in groups, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be great open boots with a little bit of a harder item pool, similar to last year. So it's not like a standard item pool. Most of the hard containers are actually substituted with hard pieces, so it's going to be more of a gradual increase of hard containers. We're limited to tempered sword, I think. I'm not sure if we even get blue mail.
We do get blue mail this time. Yes,
okay.
they're not complete masochists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
there's a little bit of mercy.
It's definitely a little bit of a tougher, item pool, skill sets required. But yeah, I mean, these runners, they know what they're doing.
They certainly do know what they're doing. There are multiple titles between Telethar and ph. Very prominent member, of Link to the Past, leadership community, right? He's one of the main admins of Tark. Certainly has a lot more exposure. Super involved in all the other communities, and it's PJ was even saying earlier, right? It's coming to SGL and really being able to. Not like being able to interact with somebody you only interacted with only like on the other side of the screen, right? Or only in like Twitch chat, or only in Discord or something. It's almost kind of like meeting celebrities here.
Yeah, and racing in real life just hits very different.
Oh my gosh, absolutely true. Everything here is just like heightened, and it's just like a whole new experience. Whether it's racing live, whether it's commentating live, whether it's tracking live. We have Link Force here right next to us. I mean, like even last year, and the year before, wonderful, like amazing tracker, and then she would be like, you got this, or like, you don't have this, so you can even be able to see all these things. It's just amazing. You can even see the other person's reaction, talk to them. Yeah. Right? We're starting.
Okay.
Here we go.
Similar start, Link's house, we get lots of money, so that's not going to be a problem early on.
I'm always so happy to see lots of money. We have, looks like a same start.
Yep, we're immediate sync going on, same RNGs. Okay, well, we're gonna probably just do a Saha, see if we can get some earlier resources, and then we're probably, with this money, we're gonna go to CAC, most likely, get the main item pools.
Telethar's gotten hit by Nocturne once over. All right, reset. Okay, like just forfeit now. That's what it feels like sometimes. You get hit by the Green Guard and escape. It's only one tiny thing goes wrong. Are we going to Zora now? Is that what's happening?
We might actually do Mini Modern Cave into Zora here, just to be able to have a bigger chance of getting a bottle or a flute, to be able to do a single dip Kakariko, activate that flute, or turn in the bottle for Sick Kid. So, but it does look like we're getting some early divergence here. We get a really quick map check as well. At least some Pendant Hera and 5-6 Crystal in Eastern. So, at least 2 Pendants in the Dark World. That might influence a little bit of decision making later on to what dungeons we're going to dip. But yeah, we're gonna be able to cross our eyes, see who gets what early on.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the bottles.
Okay, well that's super nice. Ball Crocs, PH. Yeah, and of course, for as part of SGL, I don't know if it's tradition at this point. I really hope it is going to be a regular thing. We always get those wonderful red starting boots. We can dash from the get-go. Now, of course, we would like to have a sword. That is, upon the impetus of the runner to go find one. Dashing without boots, dashing without a sword isn't always dashing without boots. I would like to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe not always the best one. We can actually see, Telethar actually getting some nice RNG. Having a nice dash line, not getting, stopped by the crabs or the bus blobs. But you do see it's not necessarily, without caution. He does have to make sure that we don't just run into anything. But having a sword, obviously, kind of mitigates some of that danger.
Yeah, especially the road to Ice Rod Cave here is pretty dangerous. The crabs do 2 hearts of damage, which in the light world is pretty much the maximum you will take. But yeah, when you're just starting out with 3 hearts, like we were saying, especially early on, we're not gonna get a lot of safeties. So this is pretty rough without a sword to get through, but Telethar's managing really nicely. So he'll be sequence breaking to Waterfall Fairy into Zora here. Usually you need the flippers, or yeah, you need some way to get to this area. Most likely the flippers for the most part. So this is going to be a little bit of a sequence break. Checking what's on Hylia Island here as well. Just some rupees.
Something basically, it's like a very nice, check to have, and it's very convenient to do right now. You're literally right next to it, and as you mentioned, we're dashing, on water. Not intended to get here. Technically still, you mentioned about sequence breaking. We don't have a glove or flippers to actually put Zora in electric. However, we know that we will get at least 1 glove for Dark World access, so may as well do it now when you're filthy rich. Don't have to worry in this case about finances, on the sooner or later side.
Yeah, most of the time this is just the fastest way to actually get here. So might as well do it even if it is not on logic, just for efficiency's sake. Coming here later, especially if you don't have flute or flippers, is a huge pain.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true.
But yeah, this area apparently has been pretty dry. Instead, Kakariko on PH's side has not been that lucrative either. We get a shovel, which he will actually be able to immediately use after we finish the loop down from Kakariko.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big question mark of what is actually going to be the first real progression piece, because we don't really have anything yet, and we've already done quite a bit between the 2 runners.
Ari, I would like to point out though that PH has 4 heart containers now instead of just 3. We're going to be very thankful for all of the safeties that we have. You mentioned before, not a lot of heart containers, and they're only like 2 placed in the whole item flow. Everything else is heart pieces, so yeah, the growth is going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. So I'm always really happy to see, early amounts of health. I think you also, I don't remember if we mentioned that we do get 2 bottles total out of the 4, and they're always going to come empty. So you really got to actually think about, kind of maybe work, for in order to, not use, you won't just get, a fairy handed to you in your lap, type of thing.
Okay,
I did not see
what's on Lumberjack. No. In the meantime, PH did get a Moon Pearl out of Kakariko, so at least we got that very important piece of the puzzle.
PH, go back!
I think
go back!
Not only do we probably need this item, Clearmouse also really wants that item.
Yes. That is probably the most coveted weapon. Forget the sword, okay? I don't even know why I mentioned to begin with. We're only doing both stuff for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. So that actually is a big piece as well, because we know that Eastern Palace is a crystal. We need the boat to beat Eastern Palace, so that's probably going to be the next thing we'll be doing. That mirror is also really nice to get early on race game. Especially early Dark World, being able to combine multiple things with boots and mirror, it makes clearing out the Dark World a lot more efficient.
Oh yeah. You actually, especially when you talk about not having to isolate, locations, right? You can have the item that you want the first time you're there. Mirror is a very good example of if you're gonna do any type of Dark World stuff. Yeah, you can do, when you do South Route from Hype Cave to Game 5 along the way. Certainly very, very useful in dungeons as well. You can, especially, presumably pod's gonna be, whatever it's gonna be, we're probably gonna have to go in there at some point, whether it's a pendant, whether it's crystal, because there's always something in there. Progression, very helpful there in order to be able to use efficiently. And and Tom, I did hear that when you're racing against an opponent, time is something that you really want to maximize your efficiency for, because the person who does finish the race first, it takes the least amount of time, will win the race.
Crazy concept.
Yes.
But yeah, that's definitely the case. Yeah, and especially this being the first race for both these runners, there's probably going to be some first race jitters going on. It's very easy to overthink, especially the early sequences. Oh, was this efficient enough? Was my opponent being able to get something here to be more efficient later on already? There's going to be some question marks here and there probably of okay, how well am I actually doing in the race? Do I need to cut some corners later on as well? Do I actually need to be efficient, or do I just not go there at all?
Yeah, exactly. And then, especially for, a mode that does only have... I flipped. Wait,
Telethar
and PH skip the damn... Oh, yeah, okay, I definitely understand. Okay, this is part of, like the meta. Some people don't like to, in this case where pH is going, you don't like to isolate a Gina. Understandable, so then they're like, okay, I'll just delay the dam temporarily, so we can combine it with the Gina, so it doesn't get isolated, and then, of course, you kind of kick yourself when you end up finding the item that you actually wanted when you just kind of done the normal. So the more common, dam into mini mold.
Yeah, and something similar has actually happened. Oh, okay, so we found a book in Agina, and that actually gives us access to Desert Palace, but PH elects to not dip that because we don't really have a way to delve deep into that dungeon. We will be able to check a couple of items, but it might not be worth just yet to go there. Especially with the flute, we have access to Death Mountain and Sahara, and that might be worth it a little bit more. And we are actually, with the flute, we did get the flute, so it's easier to get to Desert later on.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and getting out of Agina, is really, I've said before, it's actually pretty slow. Like, you basically just want to save and quit unless you have like extremely good reason. Maybe you're playing a different mode or something.
Yeah.
You actually want to exit Agina. But other than that, it's a very, very nice end of your route type of thing. Now, PH may have, kicked himself a little bit. Telethar will probably experience something very similar, getting his flute over.
Yeah, he's not going to be too pleased with that for sure. But yeah, that might influence a little bit of the future route as well, as I already lost a Kakariko trip just because I had to, trying to be efficient early means that you actually lose some time. Yeah.
Oh, PH actually doing library and Kakariko first means that he actually gets one extra weapon. He's actually see very good aim, for the killing the one Lamos in one mini Moldorm. Getting ahead of myself in a mini Moldorm cave. I was gonna say it's good practice. For hopefully Desert Palace clear. But we'll see. You did mention before though, even though we do have the book for entry for Desert, we don't have a fire source in order to kind of get to the back in order to beat the crystal that we want. Admittedly, while I'm always a big fan of seeing the bow use on the landmost boss, maybe these guys, aren't as motivated to go, and take a potentially slower boss fight where we can wait for better equipment.
Oh, for sure.
Understands.
Yeah, so Teleport's actually giving up a little bit more time here. It's very reasonable. He gets the bow, so he knows, well, I need to beat Eastern anyway, might as well. It's never going to be much faster than this. With the flute, he would be able to get here just a little bit sooner. But it's without the glove, it's actually not that much of a difference. So this is a very reasonable dip to make, or well, dip to clear actually.
Oh my gosh, PH.
Yeah, PH just
PH was staring down certain death. And yes, you did mention that crabs do 2 hearts of damage. However, did you see how many crabs there were on the screen? Now my math isn't perfect, but 1, 2 would probably have been curtains for.
Yeah, and without a proper weapon, like a sword, it's actually really hard to navigate yourself through those crabs because they move pretty erratically.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's able to get through without any further incidents.
Yeah, actually, and PH actually having the bottle from Kakariko as well. Actually we mentioned this before. All bottles always come empty, and this is actually in this type of SGL setting. One part of the meta potentially in order to delay the Zora area is if you come back with a bottle, you can get kind of like a freebie, safety potentially from Waterfall Ferry. So he's just, he gets rewarded, for his patience.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, getting a red goo, especially with these settings, just having the extra safety will give you extra confidence.
Oh yeah.
And not having to play safe in dungeons, especially like later dungeons where you will easily take 3 or 4 hearts per hit. It's nice to not have to worry about dying potentially.
Oh yeah, of course, Telethar and PH, a lot of pilot spoilers been going on, so they've kind of certainly been more accustomed to lower percent execution and available resources. So I think they're very thankful for having any type of safety stuff kind of going on here.
For sure, just give them 1 or 2 more hearts and a couple swords, and then they're in their full comfort zone. Like right now, it's still a little bit wishy-washy, but we don't have Dark World access yet anyway, so for the most part, in the Light World, we're actually pretty safe.
Actually see in this case, as much as I love the bow, we can kind of see, the bow is not the greatest panic button that you can take. Got to take a little bit of time in order to, shoot the bow. And sometimes by the time you shoot the bow, just like for the crabs, right, and the Octoroks, they can move, where you initially shot, the arrow from. So then now you got this little bit of panic in there.
Yeah. Okay, so both of our runners are in Eastern now. So far, we've only found a powder in one of the chests. I think we already found map plus compass. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. So there's a guaranteed item.
No. And Link Force is telling us no. What have we not found? The map?
Okay.
Compass. We have not found the compass yet.
Okay, so there's a 50-50 chance here that this is actually just going to be the compass. But it's a fire rod instead, so that is actually lamp locked. So
where is our lamp, Ari?
Yeah. Well, it could very much be that the lamp is actually very deep in logic and that the game expects you to come back to Eastern or to go to Eastern very late. But yeah, this fire rod will inadvertently actually give us the opportunity to light the torch here and be able to easily finish the dungeon.
If the lamp was just sitting in desert, Ari, I'm going to be very upsetty. They could have just gone into desert and beat the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, otherwise we'll start seeing this here. Like, oh, we can't really see it properly. We'll see unhappy faces.
Kirby. You're using the wrong bow, guys. All right, you didn't get the memo.
We still need the glove in order to beat desert anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, but here, a couple of very nice muscle memory.
Yeah.
Telethar was charging a sword right here. But we don't have that one yet, so we're gonna have to resort to using the fire rod and the bow to clear out these popos and the Igors, and then we're gonna get to our first boss fight, which in the vanilla game actually is the first boss fight as well.
That's right. Not necessarily intended for you to come here, to do all the dark rooms, without the lamp, of course, but we actually saw Telethar, getting through these, very, very smoothly. Looks like PH is going to skip out on Big Key Chest.
This might be a little bit of an uh-oh. Maybe he elects to come back sooner rather than later. But yeah, early on, this is definitely a little bit of a risk. We don't have any Dark World access yet. But he does make it through the Dark Room really nicely.
Very quick. And like what we're seeing on screen with the big black, like nothing, is exactly what PH is seeing, and what Telethar saw as well. And obviously, like, these guys are unfazed, but really makes that room look easy, like extremely much easier than that. Especially on this low health, right? All the Igors do 100 damage. Something goes terribly wrong, or something even goes very slightly wrong, and then you're just very sad. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so only having the bow makes this room a lot worse. Okay. Oh yeah.
No! Oh no! Oh. Okay. Everything. We're
plenty of arrows and hearts here, so we'll be fine. Grabbing a backup here. Let's grab some extra, just in case Armos goes wrong. Yeah.
Mentioned something about in this case about pre-race, first race jitters, and this is the first one out of the gate. You mentioned also that the groups are extremely stacked. This is a very, very tough matchup. Probably don't feel great, going up against Telethar. Probably don't feel great about going up against PH. I know I said there are no free wins, but man, like there could be. It's like, it could be worse, but it could also be, a lot better, type of thing, so.
For sure. And it's nice to get, like, at least one of these races, like, out of the way. Because it's like, okay, well, whatever happened, but now I got the rest of the race to focus on, and I got the, like, a tough matchup out of the way anyway. But yeah, PH decides to not re-enter Eastern after getting the compass from Armos, so he's leaving the fire rod behind for a little bit. Yeah, like, logically, it is a pretty okay decision because he doesn't have the lamp yet. It's like, okay, well, it's not going to be in logic. Maybe I'll be able to avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he does have a second opportunity to come back. When and if we do come back for like pod, we have the Mire.
Yeah.
Right. So second opportunity. Now, and as you mentioned, it's maybe not the greatest possibility that he's going to be able to come back and get the fire because Eastern Pal's Big E chest is the reason why people skip it, right? Because it takes forever. It's a little bit dangerous. And right now, as you mentioned before, it's out of logic. Also out of logic, we got a sword off of Old Man. Where is his lamp, Barry?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been locking a couple of items here. But yeah, with that sword, PH is immediately able to use his spin speed as well, making his way through that mountain.
One of the nice things about being able to see everything in person. Nice glove, by the way.
Okay.
I was gonna mention, so sometimes you should just see the game. Nice other glove.
All right. He's immediately asserting dominance, making the hover.
Oh, look at that.
Let's go. Very nice.
Very nice usage of the boost. I was gonna say, like, PH was pumping on the stairs, going up Death Mountain. You can also see him live. You can only see this live, right? You can see him here, holding his controller on, on his lap or something, just like hovering, right? It's so great. Harry, that glove used to be like silver.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was some weather that kind of polished it a little bit.
Right,
I don't know.
Okay, all the skies are gone. You know, all the. Okay, well we have Dark World access now. Did you know that?
Yeah. No. Exactly. This is Oh wow, and some flippers here. Dark Cross. Okay, so we're just getting all the items. All of a sudden, we get mids, we get flippers. Like half this stuff is out of logic, except for the mids. So it probably means that the lamp is somewhere in Dark World, and that kind of just unlocks the rest of the seeds so far.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, all of our Dark World access is all accessible in the Light World. Yeah, except everything else that we would kind of want else to have. Yeah, as you mentioned, Fire Rod, Sword. Yeah, those were all. Now the lamp can really just be anywhere. Actually, I was thinking, I was like, okay, maybe the lamp is in desert. Maybe the lamp.
It can still be in desert.
Yeah, but right. But now, like, we've got all of Dark World access, so I was like, okay, well, maybe you're right. Maybe it actually can still. It's probably not in desert.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so here telethar is going to be very happy. It's pretty stoic. It's like, okay, whatever. But immediately saving quitting, probably activating it. Maybe doing a Gina first as well, but.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, because this, having the flute, and he'll probably eventually go up the mountain, because he already done escape, because I completely forgot that in this mode we haven't done escape yet. So he's gonna get his Dark World access, and then maybe, he'll have Dark World access, right?
Yep.
And, and Agina is one of those locations, like Graveyard Lodge, like Catfish, you're just not gonna want to do,
Yeah, and we did see that when PH checked Ether Tablet, that was just a piece of heart, so that's not immediately going to punish telethar if he does elect to skip Agina. But yeah, we still have Bombo's Tablet in the south of the world. So we'll have to see. But yeah, PH quickly did some glove mid checks, but probably will make his way over to the Dark World now. Maybe a quick flute over to the Mire area and the front of Desert. That's a possibility right here.
Yeah, totally did forget about that. We actually have the. Oh no, I'm sorry. By I mean the we without PH, unfortunately, because PH does not have a Fire Rod. In order to go beat Lamp, it sounds like, oh, well, we have a Fire Source to get to the back. Now, that being said, if the lamp is just in desert, go check it out. However, it looks like we're going to go make our first stop into Village of Outcasts. We see that, Pod is a pendant. So maybe the impetus to go to Pod, the motivation, isn't as high now. Granted, there's always going to be something in Pendant Pod, but we are going to need that Fire Rod. Yeah,
definitely. Like with both Skullwoods and Turtle Rock being crystals, we are definitely going to need that Fire Rod. So at some point in the future, PH will need to make his way back to the Eastern Big Key Chest. But there's still a lot of seed left to play, so it's not immediately done and dusted.
Oh yeah, and and on people, complain, justifiably so, about last locating this and last locating that. You just need to be the one to last locate, not last, right? You can last locate this Fire Rod, and there will be plenty of other, like, Ice Rods, out there. The Ice Rod, the whatever medallion that we need for Mire and Turtle Rock, those are very last locatable items that are, on the horizon for us.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, there's still a lot of tricky items left. We don't have any medallion yet either, so to enter either Mire or Turtle Rock, we're still going to need to find out what we need for those. There's still a lot to find. Like, we got semi-early Dark World access, but even mid Dark World access can be a lot rougher than getting Glove and Hammer.
So as a pilot, are just frantically trying to find all the rest of them, doing pilot spoiler. You're very happy to have mid Dark World access because you only have one location to go, after you get everything before the whole world opens up to you. However, that being said, we're very thankful when you're playing rando without the spoiler log because, here we just found the hammer. That's so nice.
Yeah, and now the entire world is our oyster, so we kind of get to pick and choose where we want to go. So with that hammer, there's no risk to clearing out the rest of Thieves Town. There's usually one hammerlock chest in here that can make people decide to kind of skip the back for now and come back later. And especially with Mirror and Flute, that's not a terrible idea, but now there's no reason not to at all. And well...
Nice lamp, nice lamp. Do you think we're going to see a Desert Palace clear right now?
Yeah, it might as well. The only problem that telethar has is that he's kind of low on health. He's not full on magic. He barely has any arrows. So
barely has any. You know what, telethar? You should come back for the Stone Boss. You don't need to beat it right now. You can come back with more arrows in your quiver.
Yeah, there's a couple of arrow pots in here as well. So maybe we do get lucky, and telethar will decide to show off a little bit. So at least doing the front here. Again, no reason not to. We're right here.
Yeah, talking about low health, oh, PH actually miraculously making it through that very harmful hellway in Thieves Town. I mean, they were very good like backup dash on him, but you know, like no cave, no red potion used. Very good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, especially these crickets, they look pretty harmless, but like the crabs in the live world, they do 2 hearts of damage. And yeah, sometimes you just weave your way through.
Yeah, that's great.
No worries at all. PH massively dodges everything right here. So, telethar has found 1 item here in Desert. The other one is either on Lamo or in the big chest. Decides to go straight to Lamo, probably.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, if the item's not here, then he can always go back to Big Chest if he wants it.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on whether he feels like he needs to cut this corner. But, you know, we'll see. Yeah, you know, again, you know, like, it kind of... I've also been told that regardless of how well or poorly you think you're doing, you never feel good about the seed.
Oh,
You always
no, for
feel
sure.
like, how did I last locate this? I'm miles behind my opponent, you know, and so if he feels like he needs to maybe make a skip, go to Desert Palace Big Chest, you know, it does cost a good chunk of time.
For sure. The only thing that I hoped for your sake was that by checking the big chest, you can grab 2 arrow
So
pods.
I was also thinking that too,
Yeah,
and then of course he, you know, here we can get a total of 11 arrows. He does have the lamp, that's true. So I
Yeah.
don't think we're worried in this case about magic.
Yeah, he's picking up the magic. He's not picking up
Not
the
the
arrows. Here.
I'm so upset.
Yeah, you can have this one.
Okay, thank you. All right, okay, this is what we get. Well, okay, you know what? I can't use this yet. Let's see about Telethar's smiling.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll run out of magic this fight. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We used the wrong bow, but it was a good job done. Very
Yeah.
fast.
For sure. In the meantime, PH made its way through Thieves Town very well. Like, didn't take any further hits after using the potion.
It's actually really remarkable. I mean, well, okay. I mean, it's certainly, you know, partially psychological as well. But it's like when you play on full health, right? You don't, you know, you just play comfortably. You play your normal way, right? And then you end up playing much better, as opposed to when you're on like, you know, a little health. Even though if you don't get hit, you're just like, what if I get hit? You know, what if, because if I die, if I get hit, I die, and then you're very sad.
Yeah.
Right? So now you play a little bit more cautiously. It's like, oh, is this gonna be safe enough? Like, what if I get hit on the way? You know, if I make this dash here or this one, yeah. So.
And you try to do backups that you don't actually have practice, so then it's actually riskier than just doing what you're used to.
Exactly.
And it's a very psychological game for sure.
Like Telethar is gonna go and clean up Agina. You mentioned this before. We did see Ether Tablet on PH's side. It's just a hard piece. So, but we do have Bombos Tablet still available to us. Which, without the Master Sword, actually, on this path for PH, we're only gonna be able to take a peek at what's on Bombos Tablet. So, the fact that we have Master Sword on Telethar's side, if he decides to do this whole sequence, he can actually get the item. He doesn't have to go back to it if he.
And it can either be a time save or a time loss, depending on what it is. If there is actually nothing on there, the whole animation of getting the Bombos tablet will actually cost you more time than if you only have Fighter Sword, which means that you only read the tablet, and then it gives you a hint on what it is. So if it is a useless item, then PH will actually save time. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. And this is, you know, part of the fun of, you know, random. We don't actually know what's coming. That's also, of course, so people can curse the fun because that's how you last locate, right? Because you don't know where anything is. And, you know, but actually it looks like, yeah, with the powder that we got from Eastern, Mire, everything's fine. Don't worry about the 10-second time loss you just incurred from Mire bonking. It's fine, but we're gonna be efficient, use the Mire, and just get everything along the way. We never have to come back to this place.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, actually, this is gonna be potentially interesting. Telethar doesn't know about the hammer in Thieves Town yet. He does have the fire rod. Now in logic with finding the lamp in Mire Shed. He has a choice now between actually just going to Skullwoods first, going to Thieves Town first, and going south. Looks like maybe we'll go do Skullwoods.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Because you can go to the back of Skullwoods, then clear all the way to the front, and then you can go to Thieves Town afterwards. Like, it is not too unreasonable to start with Thieves Town as well, like maybe hope to get a Tempered Sword or something, but I think efficiency-wise, if you're comfortable enough with Master Sword Moth with this equipment, then it's fine to just do this immediately.
Okay. You know, we got Master Sword, you know, we got 6 whole hearts. But it, Telethor's played so much spoiler. He actually was the runner-up, actually, of SGL Online Open Spoiler. Where nothing else was really shuffled. You have 15 minutes to plan out your route. But this is pretty much like par for the course. Even a little bit more, more luxurious.
Yeah,
Got lots of
definitely.
experience. This is not the easiest room in the game. Area. I don't know what kind of Dark Link, user decided to coin this room, but it is difficult.
Yeah, definitely. If it goes off the rails, then the rails are immediately out of sight. Like, once you get the routine down and feel comfortable, then it's fine. But if something goes wrong, then the mummies will just be in your way constantly. Yeah, taking that extra hit from the mummy definitely is rough because, again, 2 hearts of damage is kind of the status quo in the Dark World. Everything does 2 hearts of damage. And so we're the boss of this dungeon, so you only have like 1 or 2 hits of leeway, depending on what happens. So it's not extremely comfortable. But but like you said, like telethar is a spoiler aficionado, definitely knows the ins and outs of low equipment racing.
Yeah, and sometimes, in spoiler, you're forced to come here on Fire Sword only,
Yep.
And so we're even so blessed to have a Master Sword with us. Now, of course, you need to mention, there is a Tempered Sword floating out there somewhere. It is just a shield. Telethar is going to be able to, I guess, not pick up 5 rupees, because we already have a shield in front of us. We don't get anything better than Fighter Shield. We get like 5 rupees instead. Using the powder, in order to actually refill his health.
Yeah, so
That's actually...
Yeah, there's like a semi-slight downside is that you have beams, but you usually don't want to slash him off anyway with Master Sword. And he took a hit. Okay. But it'll be fine.
Hardest part about the Mothula fight, of course, is not actually Mothula himself, it is the arena that he's in. You see, in this case, the conveyor belt, the spikes. I mean, Mothula does 2 hearts of damage, but, it's really just trying to maneuver your terrain. With Master Sword. Oh my god!
Ooh, that was a little sketchy, but he made it through. That was really nice. Alright, and managed to pick up crystal number 3 already. He
Very well done.
blazing through the seed. In the meantime, PH managed to go all the way to Hype Cave. On the way he found Quake, so that will give him access to Mire once he decides to go over to the Mire area, flute over.
Yeah.
So he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't gotten his Master Sword nor his lamp. So that lack of fire source is probably not going to be an issue here on Death Mountain, but he probably wants to make his way over and check sooner rather than later.
I forgot that we had the book. It is only just 10 arrows on pedestal. It's not the other bow. Bows are progressive in this particular. I think that was a deviation from past years. I don't remember what happened last year, but there was definitely 1 year where bows were not progressive. Like there were bows, silver separate. But in this case, we don't have to worry about pedestal, at least unless, if Telethar was not going to pick up the 5 arrow pot in the front of Desert before going to Lambos, he's definitely not going to pull pad for 10.
No, for sure. That's he's never going back there. This whole area. It's gonna be finished. He's only looking for 1 more item here in Skullwoods. He found, I think, some rupees in the middle of Skullwoods. And there's gonna be the Kin of Samara, so yeah. Just this whole sequence that telethar has gotten himself into has worked out so well for him.
Oh yeah.
Getting that fire rod, leading him to Skullwoods, just like that small sequence break of the lamp is just paying dividends right now.
And I certainly understand, for why, there are some people who used to go into Skullwoods, without the fire rod. There are 2 different schools of thought. Both of the schools of thoughts are here, by the way, at SGL, so we're gonna definitely see, like what the advantages of is. But in this case, PH choosing to put off Skullwoods until potentially having a fire rod, right? Is he gonna miss the King of Samaria? Like, maybe. If we go with an Ice Palace, right? Maybe he finds Bombos or something. Then yeah, he'll miss it. He will eventually recover, but it's not going to be completely like debilitating, right? To not have it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so far it does look like telethar found himself into a really nice sequence. And
for sure.
Yeah, taking a pretty commanding lead so far, even in Crystal Count already. PH does clear out a lot of dense areas right now that telethar will be going to soon as well.
Yeah, it looks like actually telethar, finishing up. He's gonna do Thieves now, go get his hammer. Presumably he will also, as you mentioned, invest a similar amount of time into all of South Dark World. And so, while yes, it does look like PH, is down a desert, he's spent a lot of time kind of going through like the overworld stuff, going through Dark Mountain, going through south before kind of investing into.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the loop is when Telethar will find that quake that might lead him away from all the overworld. Because at some point you will decide, okay, I have quite some items, I can actually clear this dungeon, I will clear this dungeon instead of doing some out of the way overworld checks. But the entry to Mire is very much out of the way. He can just elect to maybe cut out Smith Chain or something, do ice instead, because he can full clear that very efficiently as well. He has Cane of Smire, he has Fire Rod, so that's going to be very comfy for the most part. He might be able to quickly flute over to the Witch's Hut, get a potion as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
Oh.
All right, well, we do have the actual other bow. We actually saw the PH trying to disperse the bars, first with the wooden arrow and the second with the silver arrow. PH, we've been practicing.
He's been very clean with the hover so far, so that's really nice.
Yeah, especially, and you mentioned before, right, the difference between racing, in the comfort of your own home, and then like racing here on stage, like completely different environment as well, and like we're just hovering, like it's like like it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. Like over the course of the years, he's definitely had moments where he's been struggling, but being able to pull this out just on a live event, what's not like your comfort zone, right? Like you have a different chair, you don't have you have a different desk. So this is that's really nice.
Yeah, you actually can see. Again, I don't know what their setups are at home, type of thing. But if you actually like look at what's on the stage, like for each runner, it's actually extremely crowded. There's actually not a lot of room, right? Because you got the console, you got the laptop, you got the tracker, you got the you got all these other things, so PH is actually like hovering like, on his like leg or something,
Yeah, and that's definitely not always comfortable. Like, everyone has their own way of doing tricks, but yeah, as someone who likes to use the table, like these desks are very crowded. Okay, so yeah, we're covering each other's tracks now. So Telethar is making his way through Peacetown. Took a really weird frame roll in the attic. PH is getting his Master Sword and Lamp, so. Yeah, with that quake, he might dip Mire. It's not the most enticing dip. He'll probably just finish Lamo here. We'll probably get another wrong bow. I think he's gonna use those silvers that he got on Death Mount.
Unfortunately, yes. Well, we have come from almost every combination of use wrong bow. So PH is gonna be actually the technical user of the wrong bow because silver is not. But some people do say the Fire Rod is like fire arrows. So.
Yeah.
In this case, having the silver arrows going into Mire is going to be, that's a very, very nice location of Silver Sword. Because, we don't have Master Sword. PH has actually run a good amount of energy, so he's certainly familiar, with the textbook tempered Vitreous fight, but, we'll just use silvers. It's fine. It's much safer. It's much faster.
Yeah.
We'll be happy with it.
For sure. Yeah, and we'll have to see what at the end of this sequence Telethar will actually elect to do once he gets front to Quake. Like, because he can full clear it, he has Lamp Cane, he has Bow, Master Sword, so it's not a very terrible Mire to go through. But if he does decide to go to Death Mountain first, see what he needs for Turtle Rock or something, get silvers, then Mire becomes like a very easy. Okay, we'll just do that. But yeah. Now that I'm kind of checking out what we need, we can, like, between the two runners, we can clear ice, we can clear Mire. We only need the ice rod for Turtle Rock, so we're just kind of getting to another ice rod hunt, and this is a rando classic.
I was gonna ask Harry, like, is this, are we going to be searching for the ice rod on the very first restream of SGL? Very, as you said, very classic, rando events.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out we are. Technically, we would need the hookshot in order to be able to go through GT, but both of our runners should be... Like, we saw that PH has been very comfortable with the hovers today. I definitely know that Telethar can hover. Yo,
PH! Oh, what a great job! Alright, PH, we're happy. Oh my gosh, dude, PH, he's showing his NMG skills. Good job, PH. Oh my gosh. All right, okay, all right. We have both used bow, and then we have used wrong bow. Very well done.
Yo.
Yes. Oh, so good. Nice job,
Thank you so much. And a refill. He knows what the crowd wants.
He knows what's here.
Yeah. The only sad thing is that he doesn't know what he left in Eastern.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
See, Eastern Palace, unfortunately, there's something I cannot help with.
No.
Desert Palace, though.
Yeah. That's what we have the moral support for, indeed. Alright, just cleaning up the last bit of the Mire area. Telethar continuing doing the Smith chain, so he's being very thorough. He's been very thorough so far this seed, so...
Yeah, and I think especially probably with his play to go to Eastern Palace Picky Chest, right? And then also like with his Fire Rod, Letus Mari, as mentioned, a very, very nice sequence. Seems to flow very, very well. And as you mentioned, like, wow, we're just missing basically. Well, P doesn't have Quake yet, but he'll get it on the way to Hype Cave. And then we're missing the Ice Rod. I think he's played the scene pretty well so far. So there's kind of no reason to kind of like give up your advantage. Right?
Yeah. The only thing that I imagine he'll be a little bit wary of is that he got to the flute a little bit late by going to Medium Boulder Cave, straight to Medium Boulder Cave instead of going via the dam. So that might be something he's not very enticed, like very happy about. But other than that, his route has been really, really fortunate. Yeah, once he gets Quake, he knows about Mire needing Quake. He doesn't know about Turtle Rock needing Quake yet, so he might be a little bit more thorough if he decides to not do Dark or East of Mountain at all until like getting Ice Rod. So maybe he does want to be like, okay, maybe I need Ether, maybe I need Bombos.
Yeah, right, as you mentioned, right? So like going up with, again, you're trying to play the odds, right? You're only going up with one medallion. It's only kind of like 1/3-ish chance of it being correct. And then you go up with 2, you're like, okay, you know what? I feel okay. I don't have to go necessarily to go check to make sure. Obviously 3, you're very safe, but it's like 1 is kind of like one of those like, oh, do I want to go now? Take the chance, like, or I can go clear the rest of the dungeons, because if you already know that you have the medallion, and then you have everything else you need. The difference between go moding dungeons, that existing dungeons that you already have, this full clearing is tremendous, right? You can save multiple minutes.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It kind of comes at the cost of another mountain trip, right?
Yeah.
So again, these are decisions that you are privileged to be able to make in this game.
For sure. Yeah, and then there's the added decision as well in this case that if he does decide to go there, right, like or after the sequence, for example. He knows he can enter Turtle Rock once he finds out that it needs Quake.
Yeah.
Do we actually dip that, like hoping maybe Ice Rod's just in Turtle Rock?
Maybe. See, I mean, okay, like I've certainly seen people, when they finished everything, right, go up to Turtle Rock, Ice Rod's there, because that's the best place to look for it, right, in terms of density. There's like 5 items in Turtle Rock, right? Well, yeah, potentially up to 5 that can get you the Ice Rod. But however, right, like that's kind of a big position to take because if you have a lot more stuff over. And the Ice Rods are kind of floating out there, that's not in the dungeon, then you have to kind of go back to the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely. Like that, making a non-required double dip of Turtle Rock feels like the worst thing in the world, even though it really isn't, but it just feels really bad. I do have to quickly shout out that Telethar had a really quick heads-up play. He was running it low on bombs, but he quickly, like after turning in Purple Chest, he quickly picked up a rock crab that you barely never see, and got the 8 bombs from that, and that's really smart.
Really, some of these spoiler instincts kind of kicking into action, because I think whenever a runner is playing, or if you're just gonna go through the log, resources are so scarce all the time because you're not opening random chests, right? You don't get like 3 bombs here, 4 bombs there, 10 arrows here, and so whenever you can get resources, I think you're always just constantly on the hunt for resources.
Yeah, for sure.
just to make sure you can survive.
Okay, so we're gonna get some new checks right here. PH is actually making his way over to Palace of Darkness. This might, for all we know, this might have the Ice Rod, but also this gives him the one out in order to make his way back to Eastern Palace. Like after clearing out Pod, maybe Mire over to Eastern Palace, get that Fire Rod that he really desperately needs.
Oh yeah. But actually, you see, and you mentioned this before, that kind of contrasts to what Telethar has available to him, or what is more appealing for Telethar to do with the Fire Rod that Telethar has that PH inadvertently left behind in Eastern Palace Big Key Chest. He has a full clearable Ice Palace with Samaria. He has Mire, full clearable as well. And PH, doesn't want to go into these dungeons presumably because he doesn't Fire Rod in order to go beat Skull Woods, so you may have to make a double dip in that area. And it's certainly, no entry into Ice Palace to begin with, right? No Fire Rod, no Bombos, and we don't have Kane, of course. So yeah, so this is actually very, reasonable and understandable for why PH is here. Odd has, really something will be here for us. And of course, you mentioned we get to go back to Eastern. He doesn't know it's in Eastern, but, it gives him the opportunity to do so.
Yeah. Like if there's absolutely nothing in here, he might decide to be like, okay, well, let's just at least do this so I don't ever have to come back here. Yeah. But yeah, like none of the other dungeons actually have any value for PH because he can't actually enter ice. Mire is really unfortunate because he doesn't have the fire rod to make left side Mire any faster either. Because you would really want the fire rod to speed that up too. So nothing is really attractive, and like he kind of exhausted most of the overworld as well. Like he only has like out of the way tracks like Graveyard Ledge, Catfish, Pyramid, and those take a lot longer to get through. And then Pod is just like really one dense dungeon that has 5 items for him.
5 items, yeah. And we actually, and of course, you know, there is of course the Pendant Swamp option that we have. Nobody wants to go into Pendant Swamp without, of course, the hook shot. Although nobody, I think, really wants to go to Pendant Swamp to begin with because it's a pendant.
Yeah.
But you know, like there are up to 6 items. You use the left side. You know, all of these great options you get to make on the fly, live, in person. You know, elevated on stage.
Yeah.
This certainly doesn't make it any easier for you.
No, for sure, and it's so much easier to start second guessing yourself because it's like, oh, what if I skip something live on restream? Like, I don't want to lose because of that, but PH apparently does. Is willing to make those risks, and that's very admirable as well. Because it's very easy to overthink every single decision you make. So far in Ice Palace, Telethar has found a cape. We haven't checked Bumper Ledge, the one item that really requires the cape. We still have Spike Cave as well, actually. So that does get opened up.
Yeah, and actually we, with the cape, we do have enough for a full magic bar. I think we only need 4 hearts or something.
Yeah.
With boots in order to get through, yeah.
Yeah, it's not super comfy, but that should be enough. Yeah, he did skip the bug net that we found in cave 45, so so he doesn't get like the option of getting a ferry. But yeah, we have enough money if we do need magic or like a refill of a bottle. That is very possible. Oh, we did find half magic, or at least what would be half magic in the back of Pod.
That's right. That's another luxury item that was taken out of the pool in order to, you know, because again, this is considered to be a hard mode of sorts, right? Limited bottles, limited health, limited offensive power, and of course, yeah, the path magic definitely, you know, counts as a.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a short sort, right? Because it does open up Pendant Swamp, which probably will lead him. Okay, let's focus a little bit on this fight here. This can be very sketchy.
Unfortunately, it looks like telethar was a little bit early on the spin, so we couldn't actually get anything to land, and so now we are seeing the perils of only having Master Sword. God, thank you, iframe.
Yeah, okay.
Gosh.
He's playing very aggressively too, but now any hit will be a one-hit KO. So you need to be on the move for all the ice blocks while also dodging all the cold saves. Okay, once one of the puffs.
Oh my God!
Okay, only one alive. This should be fine. No double hit here though. So okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, everybody here aged a couple of years right now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so like I was trying to say, that hook shot gives PH an incentive to leave Ethan behind once more. So he'll be going into Pendant Swamp now as well.
It's not even noon, Ari. We can't have these kinds of heart palpitations so early in the morning.
Yeah, so if anyone is enjoying this, we get plenty of more of these fights over the course of the weekend, so I hope you all enjoy this.
Yes. Yes, okay, as you were saying, for PH, he was finding the hook shot in Pendant Pod. Not beating the boss, very understandably, because, you know, taking Yoda Helma is a substantial time investment. We're going to take our hook shot, you know, and press on our investments into Pendant Swamp Palace. Oh, he did. Oh, alright. Link Force, our tracker, is telling us that PH accidentally exited Pod early. See, as opposed to just beating because we were so focused on. See, this is why we have Link Force, our tracker.
I did notice that PH was laughing about something, but it could have just been anything. So.
Okay, yes.
Okay, PH does need to be careful here because with this damage boost, this spiky clip, he's actually going down to 1 heart. So, you know, this is not a dangerous dungeon at all, right?
Yes,
No?
actually, and that's actually one of the things that actually people pointed out with, when they're running more, like open spoiler, pilot spoiler type of thing, is that, while yes, going into swamp with low health, is never comfortable, right? Especially without boots, not in this case, right? Because all the enemies, it's kind of like nickel and dime you, and then you can't, really. But yeah, the whole like specky clip damage boosting when you're only on 3 to 4 hearts to begin with.
Well.
Like.
Nice refill.
Thank you, PH, for making what I just said completely irrelevant. We're here now on comfortable health. All right, we are here on Master Sword as well. Maybe not quite the NMG type of load up because we would like to be here on Tempered Sword. But this is what the game kind of intended you to have. Master Sword, probably 8 hearts, honestly.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so here in Swamp we do get a showcase of all the different glitches here as well. We got Specky Clip, which got found last year, and then Diver Down as well, with the bomb set up. That's been here around for a while. Like that was in 2020, but still, like these are really cool glitches that get showcased here in Rando.
Yeah, and actually speaking of Specky Clip, right? You mentioned this one for last year. Specky himself is actually here at SGL, also entered in this tournament. Hopefully we can get him on restream for you to show off Specky Clip. Like live on, live in person.
Sure. Alright, so we found nothing here in Swamp so far. We did get the big key, so we're probably making our way back in and then also checking left side. But here first we get this nice Argus fight. Yeah, nice frame roll immediately.
He even tried to go for the quick kill in the beginning. Sometimes I think people didn't want to like try for it to begin with, just because it could be a little bit awkward. And I mentioned, playing in a new environment, maybe not quite used to even like the monitor or like the controller, kind of setup. We have a very nice fight though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just a quick 2 cycle. Like with Master Sword, it's really hard to expect more if you're not really comfortable with the various kills. So yeah. So he will be getting this pendant. So far it doesn't really look like the hookshot is giving us anything, but we do still have that big key that we got in the back.
Yeah.
So the big chest could have something, and that could definitely be an out for PH. But the problem is, the more that he gets, the more he's incentivized to not go back to.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, and that was also one thing that, mirroring out of Pendant Pod, at least he got the hook shot out of it, which again, is very, is an unnecessary item for PH specifically. But it does, take him away, potentially going back to Mr. Palace.
Okay, telethar, can you please go up? Oh! Okay. Okay, we're good. He certainly is making it interesting for us so far.
I need a stress ball, Harry.
You have stress
hang on
birdies.
to. Yes, but they're not something I can squish in my hand when I, really need to clinch. Maybe we should give Telethar a stress ball. Maybe, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, he actually looks, super just,
Yeah.
He's used to this, all right?
Yeah.
He's run so much spoiler. He's used to this kind of loadout. Okay,
I think he's considering, okay, do I go back into Mire or do I just go to Death Mountain and make this our one skip? Yeah, that's apparently this is going to be our one skip.
I mean, we're nobody's out of the woods right now. Obviously, we certainly know that PH did leave something in Eastern Palace, right? So that's something that we collectively know. We don't know where that ice rod is, right? For all we know, maybe Telethar has left also behind the ice rod, and we're going over to go search things that don't yield anything for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like if PH does find the ice rod before he gets to either like Cane or Fire Rod,
oh, it's gonna be much better.
then it might actually become close depending on like what Telethar prioritizes. Like if he prioritizes like stuff that he has like skipped in order of the seed, then it might be pretty close, but
I do see on the head shake of PH that there was only 2 items left in the dungeon, the big chest as you mentioned, and then also the left side chest, left side swamp, and both 20 rupees, unfortunately.
Yeah, so swamp empty, that hookshot was just a big bait. Yeah, it's definitely very unfortunate for him, but let's see what he decides to. Okay, apparently he has. He skipped it. Yeah, apparently.
Did we? Okay, all right. I did not notice that. Telethar did this. It didn't. I think it had like a heart piece or something. It was not anything important, but it is. If this is kind of maybe a side, it's kind of for PH to kind of go back on the things that he had skipped previously.
Yeah, potentially. Like front of Skullwoods is definitely something that is reasonable to clear out, even without the fire rod. Like some people consider it a little bit of a part of their overworld.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and some people, you know, we've got some very, extremities of, how Skullwoods is to be approached, in these type of, open seas, right? Some people will immediately upon Darkworld access, regardless of where it is, we're going immediately to Skullwoods.
Yep.
There's a 27% chance that there's something being kind of nice there. But on the flip side, 73 is much bigger than 27, so why go there without the fire rod, Like, we can go put off something.
Yeah, and especially just in an open mode where there's a guaranteed, like, 2 items in Skullwoods, it can be difficult to really decide to dip there when you know that both items could be in the back, locked by the fire rod. What if I clear the entire front and just only get keys, maps, compasses? And
yeah. And especially, like weaving around all of Skullwoods. It's okay.
So speaking of different modes.
Yeah, might have a little bit more entrance on the brain, it's fine. Very understandable. Okay, it is a blue boomerang. Okay, we will not be seeing that today.
Yeah, a slight difference between Lumberjack and the Lumberjack house.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, it does look like PH decides to kind of stick to the overworld for now before electing to enter a different dungeon. Yeah, he's kind of been burnt by both Path of Darkness and Swamp for now, so I guess it's kind of a, okay, I need a fresh scenery. Let's get some overworld in.
Going like the cloudy, like sunless Darkworld. Presumably upon this route, we're gonna go visit Graveyard Ledge, is what we're doing now. Maybe going into Catfish. Catfish is notorious for potentially having extremely isolated progression.
Yep.
It's very understandable, so right now, like, PH, physically can't get into Ice Palace, right? Like, no slippers, no fire rod, no bombos, so that's kind of off the table. And as you mentioned before, right, like, going to Mire without the Samaria is not really appealing. Going without the fire rod is also not appealing if you want, because presumably PH is gonna do left side Mire, and not having, I mean, he's physically capable of doing it with the lamp, but it's not something you want to do.
Yeah, I do think it's something he's going to do once he gets this Cane of Samaria, though. So even though left side Mire is going to be slow because you do need to do the intended puzzle with the block pushing and the lamp.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't do the speed tech of being able to shoot the fire rod through the moving block. I read it the other day. Pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay. PH has pulled out, his Samaria. One of certainly like the one useful item that we have certainly, and yeah, this looks definitely like the Mire play. Can't really see PH going back up to Turtle Rock, especially without the ice rod.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to just be the Turtle Rock play for telethar. So he just hopes ice rod isn't Turtle Rock. We're going to fulfill the memes.
Right, all the memes.
He did give the hovering like one try. It didn't seem like he was very confident in it. So if he actually ends up being in go mode, like finds ice rod in here, we'll have to see how the Moldering 2 hover is going to go for him.
Yeah, that's true. Because as you kind of saw on PH's side, it was the hook shot was in Pendant Pod, Rupee Basement. So yes, it might be one of the first locations that you decide to go back, or go to before maybe making other mountain decisions. However, that being said, it is a very long investment, and if you think that you maybe have a reasonable chance of getting the Moldorm 2 gap without the hook shot, it's probably worth your time just to go try it. However, though, it doesn't really count until you actually execute it through. So it's kind of like an unknown point of this.
For sure.
But I'm gonna see in this case, like we're gonna all see, where in this case, like we're just looking for, the classic ice rod, where on Earth is. Nice tempered sword.
Okay.
Always happy tempered sword.
Yeah, definitely. That's like the second best thing that telethar could have found.
Tempered sword certainly make things a little bit nicer, for trying to fight. Again, PH and telethar very, very capable of doing fighter sword, swordless, anything at this point. But again, it's comfort. It's about wanting to win the race, not always being on edge 100% of the race all the time.
Yeah, and especially in Turtle Rock, like just being able to kill the Pokies with a double spin, like with Tempered Sword, is it speeds us up tremendously, and two, you have to think less about like how to go through the rooms. Like, what if you like only have mass sword, then you might need to quick swap to the fire rod in order to kill it in one hit, but then you also need to think about your magic management. So just being able to kind of turn brain off, full clears efficiently.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps.
Yeah.
It helps so much.
Yeah, especially, you mentioned also maybe a little difference, because racing at home versus racing, here on stage in person, right? Like, you're used to, how many races have you done at home? Especially for these guys, right? Hundreds, maybe thousands, depending on, what kind of counts. How many have you done on stream? Sorry, in person.
Yeah.
Right? Only a couple. Like, you're here live. You have actual people watching you. Like, not just like whatever number of like Twitch viewers that you can't actually see. When you're actually racing the first time. And it's just very different. Any type of thing where you can kind of alleviate that anxiety or like mental, pressure.
Yeah.
Also really very helpful.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so far we haven't really found anything in Total Rock aside from the temperature. PH decided to go through the same route that Telefar's done. He got the big key, checked out the spike chest, and then is going straight to Vitreous. PH doesn't. Oh, dear. Okay, PH has a problem, and that's called lack of arrows.
Oh, I see. And we don't have the cape yet, actually,
No.
right? Yeah.
So
okay.
it should be fine. Yeah, I think you might want to save 2 arrows for the final phase, because that would speed it up a lot. But both runners having issues by getting hit by a eyeball here. But yeah, PH needs to be really, really careful here.
But this is also, we're kind of seeing some really nice resourcefulness, from PH. Like, yeah, he did try to, farm out a couple arrows, to kind of like to no avail. But we also have other, we have bomb store in. As he saw, we did try to, no!
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Yeah, I didn't even notice the lack of arrows until like when he was farming as well. But yeah, it's really easy to kind of lose track of that. And there's only like 1 arrow pod in the entire dungeon too, and that's at the beginning of the dungeon. So if you don't notice it, then unless you really know what price packs everything is in, it's gonna be really hard. Yeah, that's
the bomb price pack then from the. Oh no, we got arrows. Okay. Maybe small variety. I don't
it might be. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. There's still that one in the corner, just hiding.
It's alright, it's alright. We were just happy in order to get arrows, but yeah. And yes, going back to Vitreous and probably going back to Coldstare is not probably one of the most desired backtracks that you would, like to take, especially in a pretty, prominent race. However, that being said, it's only going to be a couple minutes. Really don't know what's all happened to your opponent as well, right? Kind of, keep playing. And as you mentioned before, there's, the trials and tribulations for Telethar are not over whatsoever. You have the Ice Rod to go find, which presumably we haven't seen yet in Turtle Rock.
Oh, for sure. This, only 2 chests left.
Yeah, and then, all of the stuff that PH has done, Pendant Pod, Pendant Swamp, Telethar has the opportunity, to kind of like give all that time back, to PH, because he is still looking for the Ice Rod, and we haven't done it yet. So because Telethar has not been to.
Yeah, so now the big question becomes, what are we gonna do? Like, we have quite some Overworld left, we have quite some dungeons left. It does seem like Telethar is going to try to save the portal over there in Laser Bridge. So he hopes to find the Ice Rod here in Pod, and then go back to the Overworld, die, and then respawn. And that saves the portal, so he can go over, hook over to... He can't actually do that. He can't save the portal without getting the hook shot, which...
Well, yeah. we will be very fortunate for him, because he will find the hook shot right here.
Yeah, but... Yes. Yeah, I mean, if it's on Helma, he might get the Ice Rod.
Oh,
that would be the sick combo. All right, second try. PH gets through Vidi unscathed.
Yeah, unscathed. Yeah. We got
always easy second try.
I learned that from NMG too. The refight is always free.
Yeah. It's interesting how that works. The game knows.
The game just wants to punish you sometimes. Or test you.
Yeah.
Right? PH is going back into Mire. This actually could be pretty good.
Yeah. Again, this could be one of the outs. So far, it's been kind of a question mark. Like when, how full cleary can PH be at this point and still make it back to the fire rod in time to kind of clear everything before telethar has full cleared the seed.
Yeah.
Like that window is definitely closing, but yeah, this if it's right here. Oh no! Quickly hover over. No, okay.
Can you actually beat that?
Yeah.
You hover? You
Yeah,
can?
you can,
Oh
you
my
can.
gosh, dude, that must be like a lightning fast hover.
Yeah. All right. Also easy second time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everything's easy in the second time. No, it's just gotta get a little practice. All right. We did not hit the switch, so we. I guess we'll see what happens in left side Mire.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think at this point that maybe you can only do compass and then do lobby and then do map chest, and then if you don't find the second item, you go to big key chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's kind of what we're committing to. But yeah, this route is pretty uncomfortable for sure.
I was actually wondering if you just kind of like bite the bullet, since you're already gonna come back in, just do left side first,
Yeah.
and then go to right side. But I mean, you know, again, like if you don't want to make that investment. Wait, are there 2 items?
Yeah, apparently. I'm
Okay.
I'm not sure if we got like big key plus map or something.
Yeah. Well, Big Key was on bridge chest. That I saw, but maybe they just both went to the back.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, they did. They both did spike chest, but
Oh, right,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now I think PH knows that the last item is in big key chest because I think he has both map and compass now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because there can't be only a small key on left side. So I think this is gonna be a small key, and then he's like, oh yeah, of course it's gonna be in big key
Right.
chest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. It's so great. You know, just like SGL Online, you get to see the reactions of these guys. Like, it's even better.
Yeah, some of the runners are really good at being very expressive,
Yeah.
and that it's always great to see.
All right. Well, we're going back. I mean, this is a big moment here. Check left side Mire. A little magic refill, from on telethar side that PH had found earlier in Pendant Pod.
Yeah. All right, so here we get the block puzzle. It's really hard for some people.
There are definitely clips of people trying to go too fast because,
Oh yeah.
I mean, how can you blame people? Like, you just be a little bit, impatient about how tedious sometimes, like, the block pushing can be. I
For
certainly
sure.
can't blame them.
And now we get like an agonizing 16 seconds. Okay, if it's not here, where do I go? PH doesn't really have a lot left. There's still
We
top
have
of
catfish.
There's catfish. There's
Catfish.
pyramid.
There's-
There's top
there-
of Hera.
There is pyramid. Holy. How did we not check pyramid? You're right. No, you're absolutely right. Like, I just thought that this would have eventually been checked.
Well, there's a nice arrow refund.
Okay.
He could
Oh,
have
yeah.
used those.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been certainly much more helpful. Oh, PH has a really good sense of humor.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure.
Like,
I think the longer that a seed goes, the more you're just like, okay, let's
Yeah,
just get this
yeah,
roller coaster.
exactly.
Let's just keep this roller coaster
Yep.
going.
we're just here for the ride. So it looks like maybe PH.
Are we gonna dip Turtle Rock
I mean,
without
this-
either rod? I mean, sure, I'm down for it. Like at this point, you just kind of gotta double down on what you're doing. So it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
Ish.
yeah. I mean, no, like how often have we seen, fire rod and laser bridge to go back to roller room to go get some other
Yeah.
progression, like type of thing. We've seen that a million times, Not in this case because obviously, Telltale's already shown pretty much all Turtle Rock, but like for PH, he doesn't know anything, right?
Yeah,
How he has to choose to play, what he thinks his best plays are.
for sure. The problem is that he doesn't have either cape nor burnout. That's really what is
right,
very
yeah.
dangerous. So what I thought he was doing is like, okay, I'll do the front Turtle Rock. If this doesn't pay out, I'm gonna go to Hera. If that doesn't do anything, I'm gonna do Spike Cave. And that's like, okay, that's a pretty reasonable.
PH was a little too high. Activate the quick medallion. It's very understandable.
Thank you for calling. Turtle Rock is currently not available. Please try
Yes.
again in a second.
Everyone's on vacation these days.
Yeah.
Now, for what it's worth, like as he goes through all of Turtle Rock, though, he will get burned up. It was in TR, I think, for Big Key Chest. Big Chest. Sorry.
Okay, but
so,
what was there? He can only check compass. I'm not sure what was in compass.
the Big Key was. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Link Force. Thank you. Yes, Big Key
PH?
was.
PH! You don't have the fire rod!
PH.
No.
Big Key is here. What PH would like to do. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
We just took it was like an open roller house, type of. We're just here to survey the premises.
The roller coaster keeps on going.
That's right. This, by the way, is very normal when you've gone through so much. You're just looking for kind of like the one item that finally opens up the rest of the seed, And sometimes things lose position out of your mind.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's very easy to either get into your own head and be like, okay, I need to make a play, or forget that you either have something or don't have something. And again, racing in this situation just hits different, so yeah.
This is a good point. Right, so okay, we have Hera left. We have green pendant. Nobody turned in the green pendant, right?
No, because neither have done Hera yet.
Right.
Yeah. We also know that Bicky is actually in the basement, so it's
right. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've seen this particular one kind of. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
I've only seen like the one that like you go up and down and left and type of thing, and that seems very consistent. But ph certainly doesn't.
Oh, we're just going straight to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
fine.
Also, very nice Argus skill on Telethar side. It's kind of hard to keep up with what both runners are doing. I was like, okay, I want to see new things. Okay.
He does have Temper Sword, so a little bit faster fight than PH, just because he has better weaponry.
Yeah, Telethar also in the heads up play to save and quit after killing Argus, because he knows that he doesn't actually need the pendant.
It looks like he is going to skip on a left side swamp. Didn't go in, so he is going to leave behind for his 40 rupees. Where is Telethar going?
I don't know.
Oh, hookshot key, right?
Oh, I guess, yeah, you're right, because he didn't hover that earlier.
Right, yeah, he got the bonk chest from Hookshot Cave, which was silvers. But yeah, the rest of them, as you mentioned, we gave it the old college try, and then we're coming back now, and so it's probably going to be a Hera play.
Okay,
Alright.
Okay, so I think PH is going to check what's on pet right here after killing Moldor. Just to know, okay, do I need to just rush Helma right now?
Yeah.
The answer is going to be no. But maybe... I didn't count the items in pod, to be honest, so I'm not sure if there's actually something left on Helma.
I also don't remember. No item. All right, Link Force, our very reliable tracker, extraordinaire. Yes,
so
I believe everything she says. So looks like we're not gonna see a Helmsworth fight today.
No. But that makes that check actually very, very good. It's like, okay, I have 2 pendants now. Do I need to actually go back to pot? Yes, no. Let's spend those 2 minutes instead of blindly going for it. Okay, so
this is actually gonna be a new check. This is gonna be pyramid for us. Maybe 5-6. Do we have 5-6?
no, because that's sort of rock.
Okay,
That's the one thing we need. Okay, PH hasn't done Hobo yet. Yeah, so this is a nice on the way check as well. Just a little bit faster than just going here straight from the lock world. This, I can't believe Telethar actually just hasn't done this at all.
At all, I guess not. He definitely checked the tablet, and then I guess he just never set foot in this place. That mini Moldorm deserves a raise.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything Moldorm related, just they're hired hitman. Crazy.
Yeah,
okay, so we'll see if Telethar actually decides to check compass chest here as well. Yeah, so if this is a little awkward that PH isolated this, but it is a second item, so that's a little rough. But
alright, that is only 20 rupees on pyramid. I mean, are we looking at catfish? Is that what we're down to?
Catfish, we still have green pendant turn-ins.
Pendant turn-in, right?
And Spike Cave.
Spike Cave, right. We don't Spike Cave yet. Okay, so that's going to be something that Telthar's going to be able to check.
Yep.
We've got Cave and Berna on his side.
Yeah, the short list of locations is growing thin. And at this point, I mean, if it is on Catfish, then PH actually is not dead yet.
Yeah, because that is probably going to be one of the last places that Telethar goes to. I mean, he might even go back to like Left Side Swamp or like Mire before going back to Catfish. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, okay. Is this the Ice Rod?
This
is the Ice Rod! We have found The terrible item.
All right.
Who's the catfish guy these days, huh?
Yeah.
Clearly not these two guys, but it's fine. You don't need the title. It's fine.
Yeah, so this doesn't immediately help out PH yet, but here we go. I think this is actually PH's last location then right now. So, oh, he said he has the green pen and turn in? Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, but he is kind of in the area. Maybe this will be, you know, some motivation.
Hopefully this isn't Bombos. Okay.
Okay, it's just blue mail. Oh, you're right. If it were bombos, or it could have been like a mushroom or something.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
just lead him away. Yeah, exactly. But no,
Alright.
he's going back to Eastern. So yeah, this is going to be like a minute and a half to get back to the fire rod. And then the timer is ticking.
For
because
telethar, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But also for PH. Like it's kind of both. It kind of goes both
Yeah,
ways.
yeah,
Like
that's true.
PH needs to rush every dungeon before telethar like exhausts all overworld, like all the checks before he goes to catfish.
Yeah. That's actually true because like scoreboard wise, right? Telethar has a Skull Woods and an Ice Palace over PH.
Yes.
And so, but you know, Telethar does have some options for red herrings, that he can be distracted for before going to catfish.
Yeah.
Right?
So right now, like the fact that telethar right now is just going through into free is probably means that he's checking Bumper Cave, Graveyard Ledge, Catfish. It's
Kind of-
likely.
Yeah, and there's kind of like no real incentive, I guess, for Telethar to kind of stop his route short. Like, I think PH ended up just doing Graveyard Ledge and like leaving and not doing Catfish.
Yeah.
But with so few options, right, available for Telethar, yeah, I think you're right. Probably just gonna go. With
Yeah.
Catfish. The Hera items, I think, for Telethar that were as you mentioned, right? Like we were over the mountain multiple times. We could have just dipped in the, like the lobby of Hera, right? And
Yeah.
then if the ice rod were just there, we could have saved ourselves a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely lots of what ifs for both runners at this point. Like because PH probably thinks, well, if I'd gone to Catfish like straight from Graveyard Ledge, then well, could have been a lot comfier maybe. Then again, like the biggest what if probably is this
right
fire
here,
rod right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there you
alright,
see it.
You can see PH. Okay.
Okay.
Unfortunate. I mean, and of course, I kind of add, insult upon injury, right? Like PH did consciously skip that chest.
Yep.
I don't know.
It is
10 minutes in.
the 50-50.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
understandable. It's very understandable. Probably wants to take a position. I thought it was a reasonable position to take against Telethar because he feels like he needs to make a little bit of ground. A minute is very appealing, right? It
Yep.
just happens to be.
It
That
just
is-
happens to be the one time that it actually is like that weird piece of progression as well. Like if it was just for Darkbolt axes, then you get let back a lot sooner. So then you have other moments to make up ground. But considering it basically was his go mode, he was able to do like 80% of the game instead of only 30.
Exactly.
So then it becomes a lot more punishing. You want to your Gomo wants to be the thing that unlocks the most things instead of the thing that like only unlocks one item.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of what's happening to Telethar here. He actually did Pyramid before Catfish. But like Ice Rod doesn't, like it only locks Trinex and by context and also GT, but that's
not enough. Exactly. Yeah.
That's not the thing you want as your go mode because that means it could be anywhere.
Literally anywhere except for, as you mentioned, Trinex and in GT,
Yeah.
right? Like, I guess in this particular case, Pyramid Fairy, because TR is a 5/6 crystal, but like, as opposed to like mid-skill mode is probably one of the most ideal ones because you're locked out of 3 dungeons basically, right?
Yeah.
And all of Dark Death Mountain. Hammer Go mode is, think we could get.
It's a
type of
spicy one
thing.
because there's a lot of dungeons it could be
Yeah,
into that are
exactly,
also
yeah.
kinda locked. But yeah, Telethar also very stoked about that Ice Rod.
Oh yeah, you can see the excitement when these guys are last locating, right? You can feel the emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine like 30 minutes ago we were like, oh yeah, well we only need
why
the
don't
Ice
we
Rod.
just-
Could-
yeah, exactly.
But if it's just in Turtle Rock, it's gonna be easy seed. And it never is. Nice Waffles your outfit.
Oh yeah. But like the consolation for both, PH and Telethar, is if it's something on Catfish, right? Like how often is your opponent gonna go rush it? Especially, I know there are probably some people who are probably more have Catfish that's higher affinity, but on general, right? If you last go something on Catfish, you're just like,
Yeah, like
enough rando seeds.
I think both runners are in the mindset of, well, if I see a hand raised like in the coming 5 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
like I can definitely see it, but also there is that glimmer of hope in the back of your mind, like I routed pretty efficient, well, at least for on telethar side, it's like I routed pretty efficiently. Maybe it's not the worst. On ph side, it's well. I didn't find ice route as my go mode, so it's I could go mode ice. I can go mode TR. Maybe my opponent double dip TR or something. So there's definitely it can kind of go both ways. But yeah, the fact that like there were a couple of inefficiencies because of lacking the fire rod that caused ph to like the left side Mire played like. telethar was able to skip left side Mire, and ph had to do it with the lamp, which cost like additional time too. So yeah, it's really
and telethar also skipped out on left side swap as well. So there were definitely some corners that telethar cut. But I mean, at the same time, you were for ph like I mean, if telethar also skipped Eastern Files, it would be very similar positions, and then you really wouldn't happen, right?
Sure.
You know, and we kind of saw like what like telethar even checked Ice T, you know, in Ice Palace, and that's certainly not going to be something that that ph checks. I mean, you know, there are lots of like things where you don't know what your opponent's going to go to, you know, versus you.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, nice little check on the way.
That's right. That's right. We got a cape. You know, always. You're not going to complain. You know, we do have Tempered Sword though, and in silvers. Hopefully Ganon's not going to be too big of an issue.
I think at this point both runners are very happy with their loadout. Like 8-9 hearts is like more than comfortable, especially for telethar, who, like you said, was the runner-up in the spoiler tournament. So that like at this point, like we don't really expect any like very sketchy or deadly fights. Like that's another one of the things that added to the time, like the vidi def on ph's side.
Oh right, that's right.
Like otherwise, like those 2.5 minutes that ph added, like could have been a lot closer at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at this point it's gonna be like that whole Turtle Rock, like plus stuff. Okay, well, I may have jinxed it.
To say, you know, like in terms of like sketchy fights, you know, we had some sketchy fights also for Cold Stare on Telethar's side, and ph is
yeah, at least the cleanup is gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
The cleanup is gonna be a lot easier if you have Tempered Sword.
Very true. Very true.
Oh, this Trimax on the other hand, okay.
Tempered Sword. Okay, Tempered Sword is our friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're good.
I've also been told that the Ice Rod only works if you have Tempered Sword. Otherwise, you know, it's just a big cluster of usage. Yes. I fully believe them every single time. Alright, ph is done with his dungeons. Telethar is actually done with the 7th crystal. We're gonna go and be on our way to GT. For those of you watching, you know, at home or here in the audience, feel free if you want to take a prediction as to where you think that he is. I'm hoping that it's early. So, you know, maybe these guys, you know, again, like the longer the seed goes, right? And you know, you mentioned before, you know, you see, you're probably resigning yourself. You know, if my opponent raises my hand, you know, in their hand in the next 5 minutes, it's probably okay. But you know, again, like the longer the seed goes, you're just like, you get that copium going, right?
Exactly.
You know, it's like, please, let's just end it early. You know?
It's like hook me up.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's for sure. It's it's so hard to tell. Like when you're sitting there, it is so hard to tell.
Especially, you know, these guys. I think like the way that the monitors are kind of like set up, you know, for ph and telethar like on stage, they're facing each other, but I think like they can't actually see maybe above, like more than like above, you know, their eyes or something.
Yeah.
But you know, it's.
So when I was racing last year with a couple of the during the restreamed races. There were a couple of opponents that, like, every couple of minutes we just kind of exchanged glances, just to kind of get a read, right? So
it's nice.
It's just kind of like, yeah, are you having fun too? Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this is like one of the nice parts about being in the racing. You know, again, I mean, like you know, even though we're very all connected, right? We see race time, we see streams, we see, you know, voice calls, Discords, whatever. I mean, you just really can't replicate being able to race, being able to see the other person.
Yeah. It's
Ooh, okay, okay.
It's hard to overstate just like how the experience is. Yeah.
Open both chests and roll.
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
yeah,
okay, maybe
yeah.
okay. I'm like, he didn't just leave that small key behind, right?
No. Because it was small key plus big key.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Telethar. I think he did Southwest from first. Yeah, we saw him on the right side, so we got his guaranteed at least one small key. I think he came over with 3. So overachiever on his side. And we did see no key in Hope. So the big key is here, which is not.
Okay.
You know. Certainly cuts down the amount of variance though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of why most runners just decide to go for this route now. Just kind of get that guaranteed key, give up those 30-something seconds to do like the torch, Stealth's room, then Mire out. And that just means that you can never get burned by not being able to go to the compass room.
Now, I've seen technically I've seen like a rando rush of sorts that's gotten a little bit more popularity, where you just go to the left side and just go all the way to rando room.
Yeah.
So that does also put off compass just a little bit, but kind of depends on what you would like to go do.
Yeah, the biggest risk is that it also delays Hope Room, the first two tests on the right side. So like delaying that by even longer kind of like puts a higher risk on playing against people who do like Hope Room first and then either go left side or further to the right. Like if you delay that by 30 seconds, it's not as bad as delaying that by like all these rooms that are added as well.
We definitely see, I think going all the way, to Hope Room and then rando room and then back to compass, right? It's like, it's maybe, I want to say, I mean, it may not be that long, but I mean, it's like a substantial amount of time where like you see runner entering GT and then like 90 seconds later you see the other running entering GT and then they're like even, in terms of trying to check compass room, and it's nice medallions in rando room.
You gotta maximize that inventory space right now.
Good thing we only needed Quake.
Yeah.
Not getting anything else.
For sure. Yeah, especially in just normal open or standard modes, like the GT routing actually adds a lot of like complexity to like the late game.
Oh yeah.
Because it just means that a minute lead entering GT doesn't necessarily mean that the race is already over.
Exactly, yeah. And we've even seen some people, win on a tile room gamble. Right, okay, like the big key is not going to be more likely in any other location over one or the other. But tile room most often, gets checked last because nobody wants to sit through a minute of tile room. So if you want to take the chance on the 1 in 22, and some people, and you can say multiple minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is like, okay, am I in the range that I'm behind by exactly like 3 or 4 minutes? And then kind of just hope, okay, if it's right here, then I win. If it's not, then I lose anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there are definitely moments where if you feel that you're just behind by too much, then it doesn't matter anyway. But if you're only ahead by like half a minute, then it could be like the risk of losing that lead.
Yeah, exactly. You could actually go from potentially winning, maybe you have an execution, maybe your execution is even with the other, with your opponent, to you are potentially losing this race now.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was not in tile room today. It was in, I don't remember what number it was, but
it was vanilla. Yeah.
Vanilla, exactly.
Yeah, so by the time...
19.
Okay, there we go. So by the time that PH gets his 7th crystal, Telethar starts to climb. Does take a fall here again. We'll see. So the health is not the greatest right now, but as long as you make it through Gauntlet, you can powder the anti-carry.
That's right. Yeah. That's usually like
or the
a very... Yeah. That's also something that people really like to be able to have, especially for spoiler, is how do I get my refill upstairs, right? So in the course of regular rando, you probably have powder or mushroom or potion or fair, something to help you, right? Or you can try and get a heart piece refill to also, refill your health. But yeah, powder in this case is definitely the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, but like didn't take any damage during. That was interesting.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we're fine now.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't get hit at all during Gauntlet, so.
5 was quite remarkable. Oh wow!
Oh wow! Okay.
That
nice
was recovery. Yeah. I didn't even know you could do that. Like, basically shoot the the third silver arrow like that quickly in succession. Because usually,
Like,
like,
it
it's
was
like
pretty-
flying, you know, like to the...
Yeah, because I think he scrolled the screen low enough that the wall was actually on screen, so the arrow hits the wall instead of like kind of still fly off screen, because then the hitbox kind of disappears when the screen is too high.
Smart thinking.
Yeah. The question is whether it was intentional or not, but managed to make the save, so that was really nice.
Alright, Peach, looks like we can follow a similar route to telethar. So
Yeah.
go through kind of the same motions, and then go to big chest, get his middle of the key.
Yeah.
Certainly this is Telethar's race to lose. You know, he is certainly, you know, throughout the whole seed, he has played this very well, made the very important not skip of Eastern Palace Big Key Chest, but probably, you know, certainly gave him...
No! Okay, well at least there's the magic pot left right here. Shout out to our good friend Humbug.
Yes. We have seen Telethar go through an extremely sketchy, you know, Mothula fight, Vitreous fight, Cold Stare fight, you know, extremely difficult, high levels of, you know, skill involved, right? And then see the very stationary torches that really seem to trip up, you know, even some of the best runners. We're okay, right?
Okay, surely we're fine.
Telethar is he's having the time of his life, you know. This is what we're here for. I would like to think that his face is maybe slightly on the redder side. No, but maybe it might just be the camera lighting. But
yeah, for sure.
We're all good. We're all good.
Just blame it on the white balance right here. Yeah.
And we're all filled up on health. You know, it's almost as if nothing had happened for the last like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know?
We're all big chilling right here. Alright. Agatu coming right up here. Always the question, do we slash, do we spin? Like, what pattern is this? This is definitely a spin pattern.
Definitely spin? Okay, alright. I never know. What?
This should be a slash. Yeah, okay. Well.
Aga,
sometimes just don't work out.
Double, triple? I can never tell when it's
it was
that
double,
close.
yeah.
Okay, alright, we got 5 hits in.
Yeah,
Only
we
need
are 5
1
hit, yeah. As sometimes this fight looks really easy, but it's probably the hardest fight out there to like get really good at. It's so hard.
Does the fight ever look easy? I know sometimes.
Sometimes you just get those like, perfect lineups.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, you just spin. And it's fine. And sometimes you get patterns like that. It's like, does it really matter what I do? Alright, second to last boss is done. There's just a big pick left. And then this, definitely both runners should be very familiar with this. Tempered Sword, Silvers.
I think, you know, again, you know, PH and Telethar very, very practiced, you know, comfortable with Silverless Ganon. Especially in this case, we have the land. However, you know, in a race setting like this, especially first one for restream in groups against a very formidable opponent, I am so thankful to have the Silvers.
I have not looked at the cams or the runners enough to see like how often they're actually looking over right now.
Right. I don't really remember them doing it very often. PH I think did it like once earlier, but so is choosing to take the long way. We're gonna check the big chest maybe, or money. Yes. All right. Probably see Telethar maybe getting some sense. Maybe PH getting some sense of, you know, something's coming on the horizon.
Yeah.
Oh, no small key.
He did not. Maybe he didn't grab the small key after compass room.
Oh, that could be. Okay, I gotcha. See, this is why we have Link Force.
Yeah.
She catches everything.
All right, that was the 4th silver arrow for Telethar. That'll make him the victor of race.
Yes, this is you know, very stacked group. This was probably actually one of the hardest groups in order to get out of.
Yeah, probably.
But big GGs to Telethar. Very well done. All right, yeah, but this was, you know, tons of other matches are going. We can only definitely restream only a few of them. Hopefully for whatever we can have that's available. And I think there were probably like 10 10 a.m. races of Link to the Past
Yeah,
going on.
that was a
so,
lot.
you know, this one we were just very fortunate to be able to showcase, you know, on stream. And all right, we got a handshake, the official handshake, official chat. Hopefully we can get these guys in for an interview. Get these guys in. Get these guys here.
Yeah.
Not doing online anymore.
They're doing their post-race interview.
By themselves.
Yeah, by themselves. Okay.
It's okay. You know.
You get to do your post-race interview,
All
but
right,
you get to do it
look,
here.
All right, no privacy. Okay. All right, we require this to be on like. Hello, guys, GGs.
Hello,
Hello?
GGs.
Hello, GG.
Yeah.
All right, let me first say, okay, that you get this. You get the happy curvy, and you get the less happy curvy.
Yeah. What do you have to say for yourself? How do you feel?
Feel like this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what? Totally worth.
I mean, yeah, no. When the ice rod showed up there, I was like, it's probably okay. No one's going to catfish in this seed. Like, I don't know how you get to catfish.
Yeah. PH was actually somewhat close to catfish, but then after Graveyard Ledge, he decided to kind of go a different direction.
I mean, if it wasn't apparent, I was playing a little bit like a maniac.
A little.
A little, just a smidge. So yeah, like I took the 50-50, so I got my go mode was actually the fire rod,
Okay.
but I actually hit TR first, hoping that maybe there was like a really, really, really terrible, either one of those layouts where you can just keep going, or there was something really terrible that was in there. Because I was just like, after the video death, I was like, well, I was already not in good shape, and now I'm in less good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you cut out the video death, it was actually
Probably still
pretty
a
reasonable.
few minutes.
Yeah, a
but,
few
like,
minutes, but it was a
close-ish.
lot more reasonable. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like that kind of like really cut like a whole dungeon in between the
Yeah.
two of you. Like once you got into go mode, like needing to do both Skullwoods and
Yeah.
Ice Palace, like definitely is rough.
I mean, it actually wasn't awful. So the funny thing is that because I was thinking, if you take out my mountain trip and the Vidi death, we're probably pretty close. Because weirdly, that really late fire rod is probably not actually that terrible because it let me go mode 2 dungeons that I'm guessing you may have cleared a little more than I did.
When I finished, I had 2 items in Mire because I just went to the boss and then went up the mountain at that point.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to Pod, got 5 items out of there, then went to Swamp and skipped left side, and that was what I had left was Mire
okay.
and Swamp.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, I full cleared my. I took a lot of time in Mire. I also did left side swamp because I was pretty low on stuff at that point.
Yeah.
And went back in and actually, like the other thing, it was actually unfortunate the hookshot being in pod because my plan there was do pod. If I don't get anything out of pod, go finish off the big key chest. And then I got that hookshot and it was like, just commit to the skip. And
Yeah,
that was suboptimal.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm not sure it would have, because again, like I probably would have spent an extra like 3 or 4 minutes in ice. I have no idea, but it would have been a lot longer if I had had that fire rod a lot earlier.
Yeah.
So, like I probably do it before I get the cane would be my guess.
Oh, okay. I had Kane first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because
The fire rod.
Fire Rod, so you do Skullwoods into
Yeah, yeah.
Thieves Town, so.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, you're right. If I had gotten it at the start, but if I got it after pod,
Yeah.
I don't know if I go back for that.
Okay, then you don't know if you do Skullwoods before Ice?
I might have done ice first. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
First.
Without the cane, but again, like, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm playing, like, honestly, I'm playing 4 variants there.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
no, for sure.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I think like in context, like a lot of the plays that you made sense, and it was like we were thinking like, okay, if you don't find anything in pod, then I think there's a pretty reasonable chance you do go back to Eastern. But yeah, with the hook shot, like so the entirety of Swamp opens up, and it kind of opens up pad as well. So
yeah. Well, yeah, and that was that end there. That was the okay. I'll dip TR. Hopefully, it's not single item locked. Oh, good. Let's go over to Hera and just beat the boss because I don't want to do all that other stuff for 1 item. Oh, good. Nothing there but green pendant. Well, let's see if I'm maybe kind of like luck sacking my way into a little bit of an okay route. No, I'm not. All right. Well, okay. That's all right.
I mean, sometimes you have to go for like the 2080, and then yeah, of course, like it doesn't pan out. But
Yeah.
like in the state of the race, like sure, like, if you feel you have to make a play, then you have to make it.
Yeah, I mean, especially like, yeah, there was that stretch. Because also I think I probably got a little bit on tilt there for a bit after. Like I was kind of like my play quality definitely. I don't know how you felt. Like it is definitely different being in this kind of an environment.
Covered tremendously well.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, your
like-
hovers were on point.
That was probably the adrenaline. It was just like,
Yeah, I tried one hover and got like 2 tiles and was like, you know, we're out of here.
Were you worried at all, like, that if Ice Rod was into the rock, that you would have to hover Moldering too? Or was that going to be okay?
That was going to be okay.
Okay.
I mean, I would just keep trying. I just
Yeah.
don't want to waste time. Like, if I have to hover Moldorm 2, I have to hover Moldorm
Yeah.
2. That's fine. But if I hover Hookshot Cave for, 20 rupees a piece of heart, I'm just like,
Yeah.
and I fail 3 times, I'm like, well, that's a nice use of a minute, I guess.
Yeah, no,
Like,
for sure. Yeah, like definitely, probably some first race jitters on stage. Like it's a different environment, not your normal chair and all that.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
you like that mirror and pod?
Oh yeah. Like the problem was we didn't get to catch much of that because telethar had some boss fights. Like
Oh.
so.
I had a
was
couple
fighting-
boss fights.
Yeah, you had a
He was
couple
fighting
boss
Cold
fights.
Stare, which
Yeah.
was
Squirrely.
it was it really woke you up in the morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he didn't have the luxury of having a tempered sword for Cold Stare Shambles. Okay. So his cleanup took a little bit longer.
I missed the first spin on Cold
Yeah.
Stare, and then like,
Oh, that yeah. That
and
really-
I had 3 fire rod shots, and none of them splashed, and then I was on hammer, and I had like 7 hearts, and
and I ended up on 1 heart and a couple
Oh,
of close
no.
calls. So I was like, okay.
I deserve to die. I played that very poorly.
Yeah, and then both of you got hit by an eyeball during Vidi, so it was like, okay, yeah.
Well, that was because I started doing. I don't know why. I started not because my plan was, oh crap, I'm on fire arrows. Okay, but I have full health. I'm gonna do basically NMG strats on the left side, try and kill all those, kill the eyeballs with arrows on the right,
And then just clean up.
Yeah, and then it takes a while to finish off the big eye, and then I moved wrong. Like I don't know if you saw, like I went
Yeah.
too far, and then I came back,
Yeah.
and it throws off your time.
Yeah, and then it's
I got
over,
hit, and then I was
yeah.
like, well, this isn't good. So at that point, I was just like, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you guys so much for racing. I mean, it was a pleasure. It was absolute pleasure to be able to watch you guys. It was so exciting. Never a dull moment, honestly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I imagine. Well, telethar, thank you. GG's,
GG's.
Airy, Clear Mouse, thank you so much for comms.
It was a pleasure.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
No, thank you guys. Thank you.
Tracking,
Yes,
thank you
and
so
Link,
much.
yeah.
Tracking.
Link Force is amazing.
Link Force,
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
She is always amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Ari.
yeah, that was a
Yes.
great time. And
Yes.
yeah, we'll be seeing plenty more races over the coming week. Well, yeah, the rest of the week, and hope you are able to tune in for all of this.
Maybe some more bow land.
Good luck on the rest of your
Bow
races.
Yes. yes. Use bow. Use bow. Yes. See happy Kirby's. All right, we got the queue to wrap up. So yeah, definitely keep in touch. And there's definitely a lot more SGL online. Online in person to be able to be showcasing all of these races. So very clever. Happy to be able to see PH and Telethar doing this. Lots more Link to Pass. Lots more all the other tournaments going on. Until then, have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.